Now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm sorry Ventura had to go, so I can't get to all your calls, but I'll take them right now. And I will play the part of Jesse Ventura, and then I will answer the questions for him. I'm being sarcastic. And then I'm going to get into all the big news after the break and more of your calls. 800-259-9231. Alex. This is Jesse Ventura hosting the Alex Jones Show. I'm a Navy SEAL, a fighter. He likes when I joke around. I'm just having fun here. I can make fun of myself, too. It's all in good jest, all in good humor. Casey in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead, Casey.
Hey, Alex. I was actually, when you guys were talking about the pyramids, it's something very interesting about that. If you Google our start page on how to cut granite today, it comes up as a diamond saw. And yet they had all these granite that they cut in the pyramids that were perfect. So, anyways, that was an interesting fact.
They believe the Easter Bunny created the pyramids.
I was actually going to ask Jet. I don't know if you could answer this question for him, but
of course I can.
I was seeing if he actually received any death threats or anything while he was in office for speaking so much truth.
I'll have to ask him that next time, but he had all sorts of dirty tricks done against him.
And also, I was going to tell you, I was going to thank you again that that song I wrote, "The Republic Is Going to Rise Again," and that was actually inspired by you. I actually had a lot of good positive feedback. A lot of people on YouTube and iTunes have been downloading that, so I've got another one coming out, and I actually would like to get together, write some stuff on what's going on to wake some people up.
I hear you, Casey. Ventura's done some musical records. I think even doing like Rowdy Piper. Look up Jesse Ventura records. Let's go to Rod in France. I visited France. Go ahead, Rod. You're on the air.
Yeah, Alex, I remember you speaking about your wife spending a lot of time in France. I was really hoping to get to see you in Wattsford, but I couldn't get off work to make it over there. I wanted to get on the train in the tunnel and go over and meet you in person. I'm a huge fan.
Well, God bless you, brother.
You are a patriot, a scholar, and a gentleman, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
I'm also a former governor.
Yes, you're also
Stop.
responding for, yes, Mr. Ventura, Alex Ventura. I wanted to repeat a quote that Obama had said, and then make a quote from Abraham Lincoln in response. I think everybody's heard what Obama said about if the people can't trust not only the executive branch, but also don't trust Congress, don't trust federal judges to make sure we're abiding by the Constitution, due process, rule of law, then we're going to have some problems here. And I just want to respond to that by quoting Abraham Lincoln. We, the people, are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. And I think that says a lot.
All right, well said, Rod. I wish you could have got your question to Ventura. You said you had to hear me doing silly imitations. Real fast, David in Minnesota. Minnesota. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How's it going?
It's good.
My question is basically, the thing is, if everything can really be kind of squelched at the local level, why don't we have basically some kind of education just teaching every one of your listeners how to actually go get involved?
No, I agree. We should take over local government and then comply with none of the occupied federal government, and it's game over. People have to do that. They have to take it personal. If not...
But we need education. It's like, I don't know. I finally met somebody the other day that is locally involved. I'm like, hey, let's sit down. I need to learn how to
No, go start a group. If you're informed, people will get involved. And if you take action and are confident, you'll have huge change. Look how the globalists took over with their criminal action. We'll take over with liberty. I got to jump. Thanks for calling in. More calls coming up, wide open phones, and a ton of news, and a bunch of audio clips I haven't gotten to yet with Ron Paul warning about NSA spying in 1984.
Now you can watch Alex Jones live at Infowars.com/show.
You'll find links to all of our content there and a free 15-day trial for Prison Planet TV.
You can also browse the network, the InfoWars Nightly News,
and over 60 movies and documentaries all together in one place.
You can watch the Alex Jones radio show live as it happens.
So check it out, Infowars.com/show.
Where to begin here? I want to just get to a Ron Paul and Ralph Nader clip because I've been talking about them since the first hour and haven't gotten to them yet. But here's a clip where, and this is from September 6, 1984, when Ron Paul was first in Congress. Then the system came after him, kicked him out of Congress, and he didn't get back in until 1996. I was already on air then, supporting Ron Paul, having him on when he was campaigning. That's how long I've been doing this. It's weird to start getting old. I'm not that old, but I've been in the war a long time, for 39, about to be 40. It is, I feel like a lot older than 39, I'm here to tell you, doing this really 20 years, but 18 on air. But the transcript's different. I mean, this was in 1984, but he says 1994, it sounds like, when he's giving the House speech. But back in 1984, well before most Americans had ever heard of mobile phones or used a computer, the federal government was hard at work mining whatever data they could get their hands on. Ross Perot helped them do that, by the way, with EDS. President Ronald Reagan was in office, and given his staunch stance on limited government, no one could possibly have speculated that he, of all people, would be the commander-in-chief presiding over a fledgling surveillance state. It was not fledgling, but it was the high-tech state was fledgling. By 1990, it's been partially declassified by James Bamford and others at ABC News at the time. And then later in the 90s, he reported on more that everything was being keyword dated. Google is built on an NSA program of taking audio and doing keyword data. And then they just changed it to text. Google was the NSA search parameter and called Google at the NSA. That's super classified, what you just heard. And I actually had been told that by an NSA source. And then Wayne Madsen said on air the other day that Google was one of the names of the search programs. And, of course, he worked there. Or was that my other source? The point is, Google was the search program to search the audio files that had been turned into text files. So all they did was use that now to search text on the web. Do people understand that? And they just use the term Google because it's such a giant number. How many zeros is it? It's a massive number. The point is a Googleplex. So that's all Google is a 1990s NSA search tool. 1,000 zeros is a Google. That's why Al-Qaeda was just the name of this. This has been declassified by Robin Cook, leaked it and then died a week later of a suspicious heart attack, their foreign secretary over in England. But this has already been in the news, but he confirmed it, that Google was the CIA name of the computer program listing all the jihadi Wahhabist forces they had. It just means the base, the database. And so it was a joke with bin Laden. They called the group Al-Qaeda. Google's an NSA search file program. And again, they deploy it, take over the web with it, get everybody to opt into it, and then track everybody even more. And then give it to thousands of different companies. Man, I talked to an NSA guy. I'm not going to say anymore. It's so sick. No, I'm not going to say it, CJ, okay? And it's not that they're arresting people or that King wants the Washington Post reporter arrested, because they don't want to arrest me because it'll just turn me into a martyr. The whole point is I had these meetings with people back in the mid-90s. And I've had meetings with other people in Space Command who've choked once I've gotten them on air or choked once I was about to get them on air. And it just doesn't even matter. I just can't believe the public is so naive. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't just get up here and say they're putting cancer viruses in your vaccines. You can go look that up and find mainstream articles. I don't just get up here and say that they've had studies for decades that, what is it, the glycosol, the base chemical in Roundup is like liquid breast cancer and testicular cancer. And then you wonder why it's all skyrocketing. I mean, it's people are saying, oh, you have so much courage. They might kill you. They might kill me. They're killing everybody. And most of the people serving the system will die young, and their kids will, and their wives and husbands, and they're just going to go along with it because they're on power trips working for the system. Check me on the base ingredient roundup, because it's like when I call the Tims, the Thames. Pull that up. I had the study, just a new study that came out last week. I was looking at the molecules on it and these studies on the estrogen mimicking factors in it and the acceleration of tumors in the breast. But hey, you know, don't look into that for yourself. Just cut your breast off. Yeah, it's glyphosate. There you go. Oh, that was correct. I called it something slightly different. It's a broad spectrum systemic herbicide used to kill weeds. And I guess we are weeds. According to the New World Order, that's what Margaret Sanger calls black people and Hispanics, and folks are weeds. But before they kill all the weeds, they'll get us all in a race war with each other. And let's go ahead and go to this clip of Ron Paul on September 6, 1984, in his first term in Congress, where the Republicans threw him out because he wasn't playing patty cake with them. Here's that clip.
It's now common knowledge that federal government computers are routinely used to compare lists of 18-year-olds who get driver's licenses with those who have registered for the draft. Computer surveillance seems appropriate for 1994 and unfortunately the wave of the future. This is in spite of the fact that Social Security's and Health and Human Services computers are already being used to keep tabs on our 18 and 19-year-olds. A recent story revealed an imaginary person received a threat from the Defense Department if he did not immediately register for the draft. Two brothers 7 years ago signed a fictitious name on an ice cream parlor's list in order to get a free sundae. This list unbelievably found its way into the government's files and is now being used for monitoring our teenagers. Millions of tax dollars are spent on this type of computer surveillance, a disgusting procedure for a professed free society. The irony is that it's done by an administration that brags about its limited government philosophy. And the little condemnation we hear comes from those who would involve government in every jot and tittle of our economic lives. Why is it that it's so difficult to defend freedom consistently across the board?
That's why I love, L-O-V-E, love that man. Oh, I wish he could have been our president. But I have faith whenever the Supreme Court rules there is a Second Amendment, and I have faith when they go, no, you can't patent people's genes. I just want to have faith in people. I just want everybody to be successful and happy, and I want to reach for more liberty, not less, because that's what empowers humanity. Can't we just have that? I mean, come on, folks. They admit they run Al-Qaeda. They always ran it. It's not our government. It's criminals. Let's arrest them. Here's another clip that we've got here, where somebody who you'd see more on the progressive side is talking about Obama.
Oh, here's an idea that Governor Romney and I actually agreed on last year. Let's tie the minimum wage to the cost of living so that it finally becomes a wage you can live on.
So that's President Obama in February in his State of the Union address. Isn't that what you're calling for?
Yeah. Has there been a bigger con man in the White House than Barack Obama? He hasn't lifted a finger since he made those statements.
Folks, whether you're for the minimum wage or not, it becomes an economic discussion. They generally don't work. But you have a minimum wage for the bankers, it's billions of dollars they steal from us. So the bottom line is the minimum wage does not even keep up with inflation. And Obama promised he would do that, so of course he didn't do it. Because if he promises to do something, he's not going to do it. Unless if he promises to teach 5-year-olds how to masturbate, then he'll do that. I mean, if it's perverted, if it's corrupting the youth, if it's screwing kids up so they can't be innocent, then he'll do it. If it's make sure, kids get GMO and more vaccines, he'll do it. But anything other than that, he will not do it. So there are some of those clips. I'm going to come back, take some phone calls ahead of a guest we've got coming on. ProPure is introducing Pro One. all of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. This is the Pro One by ProPure. You wanted it, you got it. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It cuts out the acid derivative of fluoride. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. This is a revolution against the tyrants. They love putting the toxic acid base of fluoride into your water. They love the fact that it's an adjuvant supercharging the trace Prozac in the water and the hormones and the other chemicals. By cutting out fluoride, you cut out the turbocharger in all the poison being artificially introduced into your body. This is what I use. It's a win-win. You get a high-quality product at the lowest price. You support the InfoWar. Get your ProPure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139. Video. FBI Director Mueller doesn't know anything about IRS investigation because there isn't one, because the government is there to persecute people with its police state and take the bank accounts of innocent people, and everybody knows that. That's why most people won't get involved. They're a bunch of tyrant crooks who use the NSA to gather financial data on everybody to game the economy, and it's all out in the open. Just like I told you 15 years ago, and 10 years ago, and 5 years ago, and a month ago, and a week ago, and a day ago. It's all there. It's a criminal mafia takeover. Every federal agency is hiring criminals lovingly. I mean, felons, aggravated assault, rapists, financial crimes people, con artists, building an army of hell. You know who's going to run the FEMA camps? Criminals, ladies and gentlemen. That's who they hired to run Abu Ghraib. Was fired federal jail guards who were convicted of raping things. Who do you think they have raped the children in front of the parents? That came out in the Army's report. That's what the good guys do, remember. In all the movies and all the sitcoms and all the dramas and all the shows and the new Rainbow Six game, they fight the gun owners and the white men. It's the white Al-Qaeda. And the good news is white share of U.S. population drops to historic low. Massive numbers of whites die for those that are born. So the good news is soon there won't be any white people. Was 9% of the world population, it's now 7%. And there'll be an age of heaven once all the bad whites are dead, according to Hollywood, which is just there playing people off against each other. But it is the Magna Carta and the Renaissance that is hated, not the white skin. But don't worry. The golden age will begin when the devil whites are all dead. The devil whites. The devil whites, in fact, your teeth should all be ripped out of their white. Just the color white is evil. I mean, the media told me so. Let's go back to some of the other stories that are, I'm going to stop being sarcastic here, folks. Some of the other stories that are up on Infowars.com. Arrest Obama under the NDAA for supporting terrorists in Syria. That's a key article. And New York City introduces bill to outlaw 3D printable guns. There you go. And Obama had a fiction writer write up the Syrian nerve gas account. Why not have Steven Spielberg or maybe Stephen King? Maybe Kurt Vonnegut will resurrect him from the grave and have him write stuff for Obama. Let's go ahead and have Scott in Indiana. You're on the air, Scott. Welcome to the airwaves.
Hello, Alex. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. I just realized the government cares about me. That's why they spy on me. They're good people.
Of course. Well, Alex, I just wanted to call to let you know and all these viewers know that I think we're doing a really good job of exposing the NSA spying, but that at this point, everyone needs to be very vigilant because at times like this is when they will try to stage a false flag to get our mind off of what's going on in the
Well,
news.
I mean, it is a false flag to admit the war's now going on. Oh, there's a war. Public health. And then, oh, we've got to give the loving people weapons. They were saying to fight Al-Qaeda as they arm Al-Qaeda. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely, Alex. But I was just saying...
Drink more fluoride, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, at times like this, is when they will try to do like a false flag, nuke a city, say, oh, we told you, we didn't let us listen.
But aren't you glad they have fluoride for babies, even though the Journal of Pediatrics says don't give fluoride to under 5, and it reduces their IQ and gives them cancer? I mean, look, it's not creepy to go to the grocery store and it says nursery water for babies and they push it. Come on, man, let's die. Come on.
Absolutely, Alex. I've been awake for a while.
Trendy.
Ever since the early 2000s when the federal government actually shut down the Indianapolis Baptist Temple here in Indianapolis.
Well, shutting down churches is good.
Oh, of course.
Sir, have you had enough shots today? When's the last time you had a vaccine?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, Alex, my kids haven't had any vaccines.
Whoa.
They're not going to get them.
Well, that's the problem, sir. That's why you're not with the program. Wouldn't you like to not think anymore? Can you imagine just being like the general public who can't even hardly talk now and just walks around like bumping into walls? Don't you want to be like that? Don't you want to die and be in a coffin? You don't want your kids to die of cancer, young? What's wrong with you? I bet you try to avoid GMO food.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex.
Hey, why don't you do like the Indian farmers? They drink the Roundup and then die. I mean, they actually that's a conspiracy, though. They actually live forever once they drink it. They fly, they sprout wings, and they actually don't drink the Roundup. It'll kill you. But, I mean, it's good for you, though. 2 + 2 = whatever I say, because I'm trendy. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. We're going to give you an update on the end of U.S. sovereignty as it's known, the so-called amnesty legislation, with William Geen, the head of AliPac. He can give you the inside scoop on what's the latest version of the nightmare bill. What I've seen is the same thing as 2006, just total complete amnesty for felons, you name it. Massive bankruptcy of the country, $7 trillion over the next decade conservatively, which is what foreign banks want to do. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Folks, you can't argue the fact that the government has corporate welfare by giving the illegals massive free goodies. And that's the race to get everybody dependent or on welfare of some type or in the criminal justice system. And America's got a chance to turn this around, but the public's already so dumbed down, just the general public that's already here. You bring desperate people from third world countries, the government's going to give them something free. They'll vote however they have to. And the globalists are going to win this war. And, if this kind of stuff continues, I mean, that's all I can say. And it's pretty serious. They're moving on every front right now against this nation and every other quasi-free nation. Let's talk to Rocky in Texas, who's been holding patiently. He's a 1590 AM listener. I think that station's out in Lubbock. Rocky, thanks for holding. What's on your mind after all the stuff you've heard today?
I was calling about how the police arrested the woman down in Slayton, Texas, just for asking for a warrant.
Yeah, they came to her house. They didn't have a warrant, and they said, we're coming in your house. And she said, may I please see a warrant? And they arrested her. And that ties into all the NSA spying. It just shows how crazy it's gotten. Sure, go ahead and comment on it.
Yeah, I live here in Lorenzo, Texas. Slayton is down here in Lubbock County, so it's just down the road from me. And I called the police department. because I wanted to comment on it, and I told them that the police committed a crime, and she hung up on me, so I had to call 3 times because she kept hanging up on me. She was very rude, and I told her it was a crime that he committed, and she said that that was my opinion. And I think more people need to call in this area because we are the enforcers of the Bill of Rights.
Well, I think what you should do is go to city council, and this woman needs to sue them, and you need to get a new police chief there. I mean, that's what you need to call for, is the police chief to step down. They don't care if slaves call them, though it has some effect. It just makes them buy more weapons against us. Let me show people the article you're talking about out of My Fox Lubbock. And it came, she was polite, she said, yes, I'd like to see a warrant. And the guy said, the police officer said, he said, this is how you want to play. And they arrested her as false imprisonment. It was kidnapping, took her to jail, and they're going to, I guess, now charge her with something fake. And it turns out there was no warrant for the 11-year-old. They thought might have been breaking bottles or something in the street. I mean, no one knows. So there's the type of stuff you have right there. Yes, sir. And again, that's all part of this thing where there's no Fourth Amendment, there's no nothing. It's just, and they're going to take the bank accounts too, just like a third world country. Just like Asia, just like Eastern Europe, just like every Latin American country, we are going to live as total slaves with open sewage running down the middle of the street, with elitist often compounds, you know, with helicopters.
But they look at us as slaves because we're not standing up as a whole. I mean, the Bill of Rights is to keep the government's hands off of us, and we need to stand up together and let them know that we're out here.
That's right. The law states in common law, but also in constitutional law, that rights aren't given, they're demanded. And you've got to demand your rights. You've got to say, stop it. And they have hired police all over the country now that are just on total power trips and feel like they're doing the right thing. So she's lucky they didn't charge her with assaulting him. There could have been 19 video cameras running of her kneeling down and licking their boots. They would still charge her with assaulting him, you know, in many jurisdictions. And it's just, it's all lawless. And hey, it's a curse. It's the curse of evil. And we're now going under it. I mean, we've killed 53 million babies in this country. And so we deserve it at many levels. You know, those of us that haven't been part of it don't, but we deserve it. We're cursed. Man, America's cursed. We're going down. It's all gone. But there'll be a remnant out of this great time that comes. And people will see those of us that told the truth as the leaders in the future. And we're going to have to lead the way out of this. It's going to be very bad, though, my friend. We're a cursed nation.
If I give out that number?
Sure, to the police department, go ahead.
It's 806-828-2020. The Slayton Police Department.
And tell them what, how dare you violate the Fourth Amendment? I mean, I think people should get together and should sue them. And that police chief, all of them need to be fired. That's how you handle it.
Our viewers have demanded it, so now you're gonna get it. More pro-Second Amendment gun shows in the month of June.
What we've learned is you cannot hide behind an I-beam when there's a 50 cal present.
Brothers in Arms, 50 cal ammo review, and more. Coming in the month of June to the InfoWar.
Let me get to a bunch of news I haven't covered yet. I mentioned this, but here it is. Too much Prozac turns minnows into killers. Oh, like they needed some Prozac. And it turns out that parts per trillion, just like Roundup parts per trillion, massively increases breast cancer in a new study. But no big deal. I mean, plants are just the toughest, most hardy thing in the world, and weeds are the most hardy of those. But it kills them. It's got to be good for you. I mean, you know, sure, Roundup type stuff. I mean, sure, BT in the corn, pharmacological, grows its own pesticide, kills bees and bugs, but it's got to be good for you. I mean, everybody knows drinking a can of Raid will kill you, but so what? Dying's good for you. And if you don't believe that, you don't love the government because they care about you a little bit right now. But here it is. A research group has studied how exposure to antidepressants altered fish behavior and made them more edgy, aggressive, and even kill their mates. Oh, something the species never do. And eating their babies. don't normally do that, but it's all right. And that makes the shrimp commit suicide, swim up to fish and stuff. That's a really old study, but there's a new study out. But it's good for our kids, though. Don't worry about all the killings happening. Here's another one. Just the scent of money is corrupting. Big new Harvard research. Yeah, I've seen this before with people. You just wave like a few $1,000s around. People get all crazed. When it's all just fiat nothing. The globalists get the world out of fiat Federal Reserve notes, and then people will do anything for it. And it's all just a fraud. It isn't like it's a bushel of wheat somebody actually grew, and then you'll do something for that, or, water hauled up from the well, you'll do something for that, or a dinner cooked for you, or fealty, or friendship, give friendship back. It's all just fake for the galactic con artists' New World Order to get everything for nothing. Everything because they're frauds. Everything because they're lies. But it said some people who aren't materialistic, they're not excited by it. But other people, the look, the smell, it has a detergent in it, gets them sexually excited. Of course, that's something well known. And it's just amazing, ladies and gentlemen. The symbol of energy is what it is. Money, Pavlovian, what a joke. People will kill their grandmother for a stick of bubble gum. And they won't even stand up for their family as they're feeding them GMO and a death sentence because it's so fun to be trendy. Let's go to the next article here. Dog butt looks like Jesus Christ in a robe. And it is a dog's scrotum and rear end. I guess dog porn's the new thing at the Huffington Post. And they say it looks like Jesus. Okay? It's kind of like seeing the Virgin Mary in a waffle or whatever. And it's okay to put the crucifix or in urine or defecate on the Virgin Mary and then have taxpayers pay for it. People are like, how dare you try to censor art? No. Taxpayers pay for that because it's about dumbing things down. It's always good to go after Christians. That's okay. That's all right. And again, it's hospitality. Come here from all over the world, get 3-4 free welfares, identities, be above the law. The police won't arrest you for anything on record, and have your babies for free, and then everybody else can go bankrupt. So why should an American, regardless of what color they are, be part of the system? I mean, more and more I realize, but see, if you are an American, that speaks English, who's Hispanic, the book's thrown at you. If you're white, an American, black, the book's thrown at you. But if you're an illegal, pretty much from anywhere in the world, you are G-O-D-D. But I'm supposed to like that injustice. I'm supposed to think that's a good idea. And they've totally sold it. It's racist if you don't have totally open borders. Well, okay, there you go. Well, I'm coming to Mexico then, and I want everything free. Well, I'll get my teeth knocked out and thrown in a dirt-floored jail. America deserves to fall. America wants to fall. So abort some more babies. Go out and party, everybody, because it's all going to be a Holocaust in this country. But I don't deserve it, and my family doesn't. So I'm doing everything I can to stop it. But a lot of you out there that love this, you deserve it. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, let's make fun of Jesus. That's okay. But look at this. France's burqa ban sparks violence across Paris after police try to arrest woman for wearing a veil, and pregnant woman is attacked for covering her face. And again, it's on record that Muslims flying into the U.S. don't get searched, don't get groped, and don't have to take their burqas off because they say, I'm not a slave, I'm not going to do it. But Americans grovel in fear to the TSA because our religion is being land of the coward, home of the slave. Airlines warn not to fly Snowden, yeah. All over the world, a no-fly list. I saw that earlier today. No one let him fly. No airlines. Stop him. The global technocratic control grid. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. How dare you expose we've got all the data and use it against you financially? How dare you expose we use it to game everything? We're going to steal their pension funds, and they'll find out about it if they know we're doing this. We're a mafia of scum. How dare the people find out? Abort more babies. Have Gloria Steinem wear a shirt saying, I abort babies, and it's good. And now, I was reading, European countries are starting the euthanasia of babies up to age 3, murdering children, just the curse of evil upon us. Moving right along here, health benefits come under knife ahead of Obamacare. That's right. They're cutting your health benefits, and now the government says what treatments you can get. You get free health care, a free cane if you're going blind or have a bad knee. Written by the insurance companies to make you buy it and double the premiums on average and then take away all the actual health care. Yeah, let's abort some more babies. Let's just say they're not human. Well, they're going to say you're not human either. You like how that works? Let's continue. More than 1,000 IRS employees misuse government charge cards. No, out of CNS News. Oh, my goodness. That's just the nice people. They're hiring all these felons, thousands of felons per department. State Department, 2,000 felons, all of them, just an army of hell force. But it's good. Soon you'll be arrested for not being criminal. That'll be the only crime. I'm not joking. And it's just going to be an orgy of death, an orgy of cancer. All the blessings out the window, all the freedom out the window. Everything you could ever want, you're going to get now. And all you evil people are going to get it too. You're going to get bioweapons sprayed on. You're going to flop around vomiting and dying with your whole family. Yeah! Because the New World Order loves us. Satan loves us. Satan gives us power. Satan gives us the gifts of death and disease and poverty and humiliation and dishonor. Oh, are you going to say a prayer to your Diablo because he loves you? Let's continue here with more news. Sanity prevails. Oh, my gosh. Sanity prevails. U.S. Supreme Court rules that human genes are not eligible for patent protection. Oh, that's a horrible ray of sunshine. How evil. What will Beelzebub do with his little cupcakes? Monsanto video revolt. Massive grassroots campaign launched against GMOs and Monsanto. I'm supporting that. That's up at prisonplanet.com. Find out more. U.S. chemical weapons report in Syria fabricated, says Russian Prime Minister. That's impossible. Our government never lies. Continuing, Lindsey Graham says Ron Paul's policies are a threat to America. That coming from that sniveling pig demon. I mean, look at that just piece of filth. Continuing here, that's one case. Well, I'm not going to say it. Maybe his mommy should have performed a little lovey-dovey, a little loving abortion. Give his mom a peace prize. I'm joking. I wish no harm against Lindsey Graham. You know what I mean. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Learn a post-collapse trade before it's too late. Another article there. Oh, never learn a trade. You're supposed to be a service industry and just then not have anybody to service, but government boots. The new service will be sucking black boots as they kick you in the face and then taking your shirt off when they shoot you in the chest. That'll be the patriotic duty, is to line your kids up in a pit when they blow their brains out everywhere. And you'll assist them and help load the rifle because they're the authority figure. The authoritarian church has taught you Romans 13. And the government says, abort your baby for the earth. Chop them up for Jesus. Chop them up right now. It's for Jesus. Chop them up. Jesus says, chop them up.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Trendiness is going on. Let's continue. 20 examples of how America is really going down the toilet. Well, that's freedom. Let's continue here. That's just some of the news. I haven't even gotten to the other news yet. Oh, here, let's go to this. Let's go to this. Congress wouldn't pass carbon taxes. Obama just signs a regulatory order to increase the price of everything. And guess what? It goes in a private tax to him and Al Gore and the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And then Bloomberg's getting the slaves ready. This was already done last week. Obama tells Keystone foes he will unveil climate measures soon that will bankrupt coal and everybody else so you can't have any power or it costs enough to bankrupt you because abortion's good. They're going to abort your future and abort your economy till you're bankrupt and only depend on government. And I say good. Those babies are defenseless getting chopped up. I'll tell you my sick side, folks. A lot of you out there that love this evil, it's going to get real bad. I'm going to have a little sick enjoyment watching you get what you begged for so hard. All right, let's continue here. I'm actually really freaked out by what's going on, but it's like an automatic defense mechanism, just getting this sick mode here. Gallup, Americans' confidence in Congress at lowest ever. Some more good news. They know what slimebag murdering criminals scum is up there. Poll, confidence in Congress at all-time low. Senator Landrieu, who doesn't have two brain cells that rub together, talking about a knuckle-dragging slob, says South Dakota borders Canada while calling border fence dumb. No, lady, you're the one that's dumb. You're the one that's dumber than a box of rocks, you stupid piece of trash. Let's continue here. House makes stink bug policy public #1 priority. House makes stink bug public pest #1. How about they make themselves the public pest #1? They're a bunch of stink bugs. Third graders introduce Obama at the LGBT Pride event. Why don't you have third graders at the next Playboy event? Oh, that'd be called pedophilia.
Okay, sir. Now we will begin to proceed to obtain your IQ and aptitude tests.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Now you can watch the InfoWars Nightly News streaming live as it happens for free.
Check it out at Infowars.com/show.
But that's nothing compared to the congressman that thinks that Guam would capsize if you put too many people on it. That's beyond idiocracy. Or I guess it kind of isn't. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory. You question government, it's a conspiracy theory. Maybe Guam would capsize. Maybe it's not a mountain on the bottom of the ocean that comes up and then the part above the water makes an island. Maybe it is floating on a giant turtle. That's right, CJ. CJ's a scientist. And Brondo's got the Roundup Ready that plants crave, and so do our kidneys. Let's go to Joseph in New Orleans. Joseph, you're a trooper holding. I appreciate you coming on with me today and putting up with me, sir. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Alex. I'd like to talk to you about the new internet. Last year in June, we switched over to the new internet, which holds 1,200 trillion addresses instead of 4.7 billion. And we could read the articles at the time. They said explicitly that these new addresses were for electronics to be sold. So each of your electronics will have an IP address. And
absolutely, that's internet too. That's why they're building all these NSA bases, where the internet is the NSA. It always has been, and they're going to kill the old web. That's the public plan. Yes.
And it's just so funny that so many people are mocking the fact that people are pointing out, hey, where all these things are connected in this watch.
Oh, look, he talks like a fag.
Right, exactly. That's all I had, man. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
No, Joseph, you're awesome. We need to. I tell my guys, we reported on this a decade ago. Report now that they're taking over the web. That's what the NSA Cybercom is. We need to tell people again. And I'm glad you called in. Do we have the clip of the congressman saying that is it queued right up to where he says, "Will the island tump over?" Oh, here it is.
On the widest part of the island, and I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We don't anticipate that.
That's enough.
The Guam population.
Folks, that is not a joke, by the way. And this is who runs the government. Okay, that's why they put them in there. A lot of it isn't even a conspiracy. People above them are evil, but they put just super ignorant people in charge. Jason in California, going through police harassment. Well, everybody knows that doesn't exist. Go ahead, conspiracy theorist.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm just loving government right now.
Me too. Well, I've been in L.A. for about 2 years now, and it seems like in the last 6 months I've been pulled over in my car, getting in and out of my car, walking down the street, getting tickets for no reason. But the main reason why I'm calling is 2 nights ago, I was picking up a friend to give him a ride home after they were getting off work, and the police came up to my car and asked me what I was doing, and I said nothing, I'm waiting for a friend. And they basically put me in cuffs, took me in to the police station, did not arrest me. Well,
the CIA runs New York and L.A., and it's a test. They're getting everybody ready to be taken in, so you're just disappeared. And, that's the new system. Sure. What's wrong with that?
There's a lot wrong with that. The fact that they're telling me that they're the law and they can do what they want. And I said, well, actually, you uphold the law. And they would not let me call my attorney.
Well, look at outside Lubbock. It just came out. The woman said, well, may I have a warrant? And there was no warrants. They took her to jail. Why not have forced labor camps? Why not have the police abort us? I mean, a baby isn't a human. Why are we? How about the cops come to your house and chop your head off with a hatchet for the earth? I mean, what's wrong with that?
Well, there's a lot wrong with that. I mean, the basic thing is that they took me in and did not process me, but put me in a cell and would not let me call my...
No, I know. They're getting ready to disappear people. What's wrong with that?
Well, it's a weird time we're living in.
Sir, you go to the store, all the water says fluoride for babies at levels like 10 times what it is in the tap water. Tap water gives them a 15 to 20 point IQ reduction. They're lobotomizing kids. Look, give in, die. I love the government, murder me.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.